Alright guys, it's like August 14th today. It's like 68, 70 degrees. It's like fall out here. But as you can see, I'm in the last 5 feet of the deck, diagonally. I've only got about, I don't know, what, 10 boards to go. So right now, I just wanted to show you the proper tool for deck board kink taming. This is called a board boss. I'm sure there's other makes and models. I think there's an all-in-one, but this is a Jorgensen put it together yourself type of deal. They sell the clamps. This is the number 50 clamp system. Okay, it cost about $14, and then you have to buy the black pipe. Believe it or not, that was actually, I think, $9, and then the board boss plate itself, the actual plate that the clamp goes through, is another $8, which is awfully expensive for just a piece of plate metal with a hole in it. But so you know, altogether less than $30, and it works fantastic. Get it nice and snug. Set two screws and move on to the next one. Just work your way down the line until you work the kink out. It's super easy. But as you can tell, a lot faster than the clamp. The trailer inside the clamp. Much, much faster. So what you see here is a nice, even, consistent gap. Alright, all the decking's laid down. It's Wednesday, about 1:30 in the afternoon, and I just need to do my chalk lines. Okay, and I've got a little tiny corner piece for this corner. Nothing ever works out perfect, right? So I'm going to have to screw in with 2 screws, a little tiny corner piece. But I need it filled because there's going to be 2 posts that join in that corner. And then just run my chalk lines. Alright, so setting a chalk line, you want to use the smallest nails possible. These are, I forget the number, but they're really small finish nails. Not super small, they're kind of stout still. But you want to pull your chalk line with as much tension as possible so you get a straight and true line. But it's important that when you're setting your nails up, quadruple check, you're right on the edge, so the outer edge of that nail is right on the vertical plane you're trying to cut. So you eyeball it as best you can and set one nail, then you go to the other end and do the same. Then string your chalk line across it and snap it. Okay, and you can see, now when I cut, I'm going to try to leave the line. What that'll do is that'll put me right flush, and you can see along here on this edge I set my blade as shallow as possible, just enough to clear the bottom of the board, but you can see I actually ate into the front fascia here, and that's more than likely because this bows out ever so slightly. The line was true, it held all the way down this edge, okay, but right towards the middle, about 2 feet back, it starts, and it's only a blade's width, so there was an ever so slight bow across there. Okay, and it started about 1.5 feet in. So if we come back across here and we look along this front face, you can actually see it does come out ever so slightly, but just a blade's width. So that's no harm, no foul. I can hit that with a sander and clean it up. can see, we had the blade width problem here again. Okay, it's just here, and it kind of comes and goes. So there's a little bit of a wave pattern in this front board, but here you see it's fine. Here you can actually see the board's actually a 32nd to a 64th of an inch overhung. We'll hit this with a sander, and this could actually be the chop line itself, but it's slightly diagonal. But there's no gross mistakes. Very tiny, minor stuff that's easy to correct. Alright guys, I'm calling it a day. I just need to pick up the scrap and then touch all the ends with some stain. But as you can see, there's no real mistakes unless you make a very gross mistake on your final line cuts that an angle grinder can't fix. I have a 4.5 inch angle grinder with a flap wheel. It's a 60 grit flap wheel. I went and got a new one. I remember my old one from the notching video. But the new one, nice and gritty, does a fantastic job of cleaning up all these edges. But went downside here, cleaned up all the bite in where the blade was just a blade's width into the top of that board, and beveled it out. And then I beveled the tops of these boards so that they waterfall off. So just a nice round beveled edge that was hit with the angle grinder at say, this angle, and it came back and softened it up with a little bit more vertical, and it came back completely vertical and softened the edges so they take the stain real nicely. And then I came back through and hand sanded. So this is just knocked it down with a hand sand, a block, sanding block. But it's done. All the boards are laid down. Just this one little corner piece that didn't get calculated properly. You can plan these things to the nth degree, but once you start working with wood, it's got a mind of its own. It will, shrink and swell. So you end up, even though I'd calculated this with my plans, I came up short on this end just by a nick. I'm going to go ahead and leave this. This is fine. I can barely get my fingertip onto it. But, it's going to have a corner post here, so it won't be noticeable, but the other side would be noticeable because it came all the way out to here. But, like I said, just blended the edge out by hand, and it's all done. I just need to do the rails and stairs now. But, I'm very, very, very happy with the final result. Other than my screw lines, they're a little wonky here and there, but I'll be enjoying the deck more so than looking at those screw lines. So that's it. I'm done. Calling it a day. Just gonna bust out the stain and hit the tips of these. I'll be done in a half hour. Later.